Welcome. Today we have an amazing special guest with us, which I am very, very excited about. We have the beautiful, wonderful, incredible Louise Richmond from Buddha Dreams, who is the spiritual keeper and my personal crystal dealer as well. So I am so excited to have you with us, Louise. Thank you for joining us. Do you want to give us a little introduction to you, my love?
Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
Oh, I am Louise, proud feminine CEO of Buddha Dreams, where you can find numerous of things. I have a few little jewels in my crown. So I am a Reiki master, crystal healer, and as Vix has lovingly said, I am an animal healer now. I have a few different healing modalities under my belt, such as Pellowah, Umana, Akashic. I'm an Akashic Records reader and practitioner. And one of my most favouriteest things that I love to do is goddess initiation and activation.
Yes, all the amazing things. It's like a list of my favorite things, basically, isn't it? I love it. I love it. I'm trying to think actually, and I can't quite remember how our paths first crossed. It will either have been some sort of healing or crystals, but I can't quite remember what it was. Was it womb healing?
I think it was, yeah. God, so long ago.
I didn't know if it was even before that. I don't know. But yeah, all the wonderful, wonderful things that you do. Um, so it's what these are one of these conversations where it's like, where do we start this? I'm going to start on crystals because I feel called to start with crystals, which to me and you probably feels like the basics, really. But I feel like there's going to be someone listening who is like, how do crystals work and where do I start with them?
Oh, so I think the best way for me to talk about crystals is the start of my journey,
Mm,
how I first connected to crystals. And I tell this story many times because it just epitomizes everything about how crystal energy works and the fact that it's visual, it's
mm,
physical, feel it, you can see it. So it's not just a spiritual tool. It's amazing. So I had no like spiritual knowledge at all when I first came across Reiki and crystals.
mm.
And my journey started when I got sick. So I am proud survivor of ovarian and cervical cancer. And this happened 14 years ago. And I was I'd had an operation. I had been in bed for a couple of days, and a friend of mine down to visit, as everyone does when you're not well or you've been through something, and
Mm.
they bring gifts, and I was getting things like, and I was just stuffing my face and getting big. And my friends, who is rather spiritual, came round and she was like, "Got you a gift." So I'm expecting a cake or chocolate or
Yeah.
flowers. And she gave me this gorgeous little box. And so she said, I went to a shop and I told them everything about you, and they gave me this. And it was the most beautiful moonstone necklace,
Oh.
absolutely gorgeous. And I was like, oh, what is it? And she was like, it's moonstone. She said, moonstone is connected to the feminine, it's connected to your emotions, connected to your sacral, which is a chakra that's
Mm.
within your womb space. She said, so it's going to do everything that it can to help you recover on a feminine level. Because I'd had a full hysterectomy, so everything was removed. My cervix, my ovaries, everything. So I felt a little bit disconnected and very
Mm.
feminine at all,
Yeah.
because the biggest female organ was gone.
Mm. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is lovely. So she was like, do you want me to put it on for you? Bearing in mind, I'm in this tatty nighty, I've got this beautiful pendant, and it's just here on my heart. So we had a conversation, off she goes. And I was on at that point really strong medication. And so I was drifting in and out of consciousness, sleeping, just falling asleep when my guests were coming. And they would just leave, God love them. And then I woke up, realised that I'd fell asleep on the lovely Lindsay. And I was like, okay, what's this? And I was feeling like really, really like tingly here. And straight away, human Lou was like, I'm allergic to the necklace. And I looked down and there was this big red mark. It was hot. And it felt like the whole necklace was vibrating and tingling. And I, oh no, got to take that off. I'm itching. So again, I don't know for any reason why, but I kept it on. I didn't actually take it off. And later on, I could feel it really like vibrating on my chest. And I first thinking, is this like a reaction to any of my medications or anything like that? And then I looked again and it was warm and it was red. And so I messaged Lindsay and I said, hi, Lindsay, I think, I'm going to have to be honest with you. I don't know whether I'm having a reaction because I'm sensitive right now or whether I'm allergic to this necklace. Is it silver? She was like, yeah, it's silver. She said, but that's what crystals do.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? She was like, you'll feel the tingling, you'll feel the vibration. She said, and it will feel warm. She said, when you have Reiki with me, because she's a healer, she said, you feel that warmth? Does it feel like that? And I was like, actually, it does. And so I kept it on and it was fine. It was just my body reacting to something it's never had before.
Yeah.
That was magic. And that was my first indication that crystals, you can actually feel them. You can actually physically see them working. And it blew me mind. I was like, I've got loads of time on my hands. I'm going to go a rabbit hole. And so I did.
And then we never looked back.
Never looked back. Never. My bank balance probably does once a look. And from that point onwards, I knew that there was something absolutely spectacular and magical and beautiful because, let's be fair, stunning to look at.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just evolved from that one moment into a life of happiness with my little buddies, my little sparkly buddies.
Yeah, your crystal dealing. I love that. Such a nice story. And I think sometimes with crystals, with anything that is almost spiritual, if you like, even though I think crystals, I don't necessarily see crystals as spiritual because they're so normal to me. I'm like, just they're everyday, like they come from the earth. They are just nature.
They are the Gaia.
Yeah, so I'm like, they are just what they are. But I think these things find us
Absolutely.
when we need them.
Absolutely. Always. Even when I'd gone and got Reiki attuned, I had crystals with me. So the crystals even came before the real deep spirituality within me that wanted to like evolve and change.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's magical, isn't it?
Oh,
And what would you say for anyone who is like curious about crystals, how do you know which ones to start working with? Obviously, you were gifted your moonstone, but for anyone who's like, I want to start connecting with them or I want to start working with them, if you go into a shop, it's like a sweet shop, isn't it? And you're like, okay. Or if you're buying them online and you've not seen them, I think that can be challenging at times as well because you want to feel them. What would you say to someone who's like, I want to play, but I don't know where to start?
so I am a firm believer that you don't choose the crystal. The crystal actually chooses you. And if you wanted to, you could just go on what I call attraction factor. Now, this works on the best. This is the best possible way to grab a crystal, is just let that crystal jump out to you. So I know I can go into a crystal shop, even though I have a full range of stock here. I still buy crystals from elsewhere because not every crystal that comes through my door is meant for me. I have to go and have a little rummage, and I can think about a crystal that I want to get, and I could walk into a shop and come out with something totally. because what happens is our bodies are vibrating at a different tone all the time, and a crystal has got its own unique frequency and vibration.
Yeah.
So what happens is when you walk into a shop with an intention of getting one, what normally happens is it's not the one that you need. So you will just be looking around looking for the one that you want, and then all of a sudden at the corner of your eye something will catch it, and you'll be like, oh, what's that? And this crystal, I kid you not, is going, oh, vibration, vibration, vibration. She needs me, she needs me, she needs me. I'm going to make myself known. And that's the attraction factor. And no, is your body is calling out for that frequency, and that crystal's going, it's me you need. That frequency will match what needs healed within, and then you'll go and pick up that crystal because it's shown itself to you in the form of attraction factor. You'll go, oh, you're pretty, and then you'll put it in your hands and you go, oh, you feel nice. Like instant best friend.
Yeah.
And from that point, you know that that's the crystal you need. Your body needs it, it craves it. So you're thinking, I want this, but you're actually not thinking that. Going, we need this. Let's send a signal to the brain to say that we're healing. And it's just dead magic. And if you are buying online, it can still feel the same way. So I post regularly all my stock because there is that much. So I have to like schedule and make sure all the posts go up through a week. Every hour there will be a different crystal. And the frequency will still work through attraction factor on a picture.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, my photographs don't do the beauty of the crystal justice, and it'll go up and someone will still purchase it.
Yeah.
And I always think, well, that's because they've read all the properties and think they need that, or whether they're just like, oh, that's pretty, I want that one. And again, that frequency is still working. It's still vibrating through the screen because it's energy.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the way that you do your crystals like sales online is so lovely. And I do think like I know people always say like the algorithms like hiding my content, blah blah blah. I think you see the content you're supposed to see. So I always think, especially when I see yours, like I will see the ones I'm supposed to see. And yeah, the way that you showcase them, I think you can absolutely still feel it. I think the only time I have struggled is if I've been on like a website and it's like stock images of the crystals. So it's not the actual crystal you're going to receive. That's when I find I don't get that attraction factor. Whereas if it's someone like yourself who's like, this is the one
You're going to get.
you're going to get, yeah. And you're like, you can feel it then. Whereas when it's just like a generic image of like an amethyst or whatever, you're like, yeah, it's pretty, but that's not the one you're going to get. It's going to come from a warehouse or wherever. So yeah, I think but play with it. Play with what feels
I
good.
think that's why it's so important when people say to me, have you got a website so I can buy off? I say no, because that's not how I want my crystals to go, because you need to see the actual crystal. Because again, I would have to like upload all the time on a website where people can just flick back through Facebook or Instagram and have a look. I've not quite got TikTok down yet, but I am trying. I'm struggling. I'm struggling with other people's content in TikTok. It's very strange. So, although I do like a good TikTok shop.
Oh, yes. The danger of TikTok shop. That's a whole other conversation.
It is. Toilet rolls, ahoy. So yeah, I do prefer to allow the client, the person who wants to rehome that crystal, to physically see. And sometimes if I've got 3 or 4, my pictures, you will see they're in my hand.
Yeah.
When I take a picture, because that's important to me to show that it's not a beautiful, because they are ornament, it's an actual healing tool.
Yeah.
And placing it in your hand or on your body is where it needs to be, or in your vicinity as close as possible. So things like spheres are got a healing room because they're carved into that shape. So the energy of that specific material, of what it is, can vibrate on an even and distribute that frequency evenly throughout the whole room.
Mm.
You know, points
Yeah.
on the top so the energy can come out. So every crystal has a shape, a form, and a reason.
Mm.
If I've got 4 or 5 on my hand and I've took a photograph and I've put it up, I always say to the client who says, "Can I have one of them, please?" Or
Mm.
now they much say top right,
Yeah.
third one down, because they know which one specifically they're going to get.
Yeah. And that's beautiful. And I think, yeah, I love that. Especially the ones that look edible. They're the ones I'm like, I want that one that looks like chocolate.
Do you know what you? Oh gosh, she's on. Excuse me. You and Nikki do exactly the same.
Yeah. Which one looks edible?
She comes into my room and she's like, "Oh, I could lick this one." I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Don't ever lick crystals. But yeah, but that's obviously my attraction factor. Is like, oh yeah, I wanna taste that one. That's the one for me. Fine. It's how we select.
"It
All,
is. It is."
all good.
People want to start. If people want to grab a crystal, I think everybody should have crystals in their life, but there's
Mm.
one crystal that everybody should own, just one, and that's clear quartz. So I've got
Mm.
my clear quartz Vogel here. So
Nice.
that's like this. Clear quartz is an important crystal for everybody to have. If there was just one crystal that you wanted to have,
Mm.
because you can program it.
Yeah.
So as we know, quartz is in computers, in our phones, in watches, in spaceships, in all kinds of
Mm.
things because of its vibration.
Mm.
And clear quartz can be programmed, so with intention. So if you just wanted one crystal in your collection for you to have, then quartz is the one. And all you do is you hold it in your hands or hold it next to your heart,
Mm.
give intention, and it'll do the job for you.
She's a beauty.
Maggie,
Little Maggie wants to join the podcast.
what is it? Don't work with children and animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's both child and animal.
Mm.
Excuse me, rude.
Just wants to be part of it.
Get up here now.
Little babe.
So clear quartz is the best crystal. You can program it. So
Mm.
I say to my clients, if you're in a rush in the morning and you don't want to just like grab what you need, grab your clear quartz, hold it in your hand, say, I want to get rid of a headache today.
Mm.
Your bra, or put it in your pocket, or put it in a necklace. And
Mm.
so to answer your question quickly, if anybody wants to start somewhere, clear quartz or attraction factor.
Yes.
Let that crystal choose you.
Yes. I love that. And yeah, good luck to anyone who thinks you can just have one crystal because once you start, it's one of those.
It
But
is. It,
yeah.
it's an addiction, but it's the best addiction to have, because anything else, any other addictions are really unhealthy.
Yeah, crystals are it's all good. Something that I found similar as well, so I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Like with the attraction factor, I found that also when I've been working with goddesses, and I know you work with goddesses an awful lot. Like, did you find that the goddesses found you in a similar way to what crystals found you?
Oh God, absolutely. So I recently held opened a space to talk about the dark goddess, because I feel like she gets in a collective really, really bad
Mm.
press, and I wanted to like smash the stigma of that, and change the narrative of the dark goddess, because if anything, the dark goddesses are more powerful than the goddess, because I'm not going to say light goddess, because the goddess is the goddess.
Yeah.
So because of their stories and because of what patriarchy, hierarchy, so society portray them, their stories change. So
Mm.
because a goddess works in the underworld, automatically and ultimately she's going to be dark, isn't she? Because
Mm.
she plays the devil, or she's, you know. attached to Lucifer or any of those things. And it's not, it's just that she's been put in a place in her story where she's found her power.
Yeah.
It's herself. And so I opened a group to introduce all the dark goddesses so people could read and go, oh, and feel like, oh, I see her, or I feel like I want to work with her or call her about. And there was one lady in there and she's like, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one. And to the point where I had to stop and say, actually, you can't have her.
Yeah. You
She's
don't own them.
She's got to choose you. So if you want to work with a specific goddess, ask her, tell her to show herself, ask her to step up for you. Signs, let her come forward to you. And if she doesn't, then she doesn't want to work with you. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because one, you aren't ready for her, or you don't need her powers to call in to walk beside you. Or if you're forcing it, she might, it's like anything in life. If we get forced to do something, we repel. So it's like your vibration's different, isn't it? Because you're forcing it. It's not natural, it's not true. So if she truthfully wants to be part of what I call the goddess team, or you know, part of your power, then she'll step forward and she'll be, you can invite her in, she'll step right in and she'll be like, oh, party. But if she doesn't, that's okay. It might come about in another time when you need it the most, or she might never step forward to you. I found all my goddesses step forward for me. I didn't ask. I didn't ask at all. It was just something that clicked. So my very first goddess, because I work more with the dark goddesses than I do in the light in my goddess team. And your goddess team will be an array of magical feminine energies that you can connect to use as and when you need. But my very first one who stepped forward for me was just instant. I just felt like a wow. And it was Kali Ma, or Kali, as people would say, and she's the Hindu goddess of destruction.
Yeah.
And
amazing. I
just felt her as if she was physically here going, right, Lou, we're going to burn shit down. We're going to move out all those obstacles that are in your way. And she does. And for me, she's like, she plays in the realm of my throat, my sacred rage. So when I can feel myself getting angry and feel the venom in my voice coming out, snap, like she'll step forward and she'll go, we're going to play nice about this in our own time.
Yeah.
We'll pave that way later. And she's just amazing for that. And then there's Medusa. She stepped forward to me in a time when I felt a little bit lost. I was like, why am I here? What am I doing? And she just stepped forward to show me that, you know, I'm here to create a legacy. That's what ultimately I'm here to do, is create a legacy. And so when we work with the goddess, we can look at them and see what they represent in life. But sometimes we've got to remember this. She will show herself to you in the essence of your realms. So I know people work with Medusa for a sacred rage aspect. Now, she doesn't do that for me. She's my goddess of legacy, and she showed me in many forms of why she's my goddess of legacy. So, you know, you can cut her bloody head off and she still lives on, you know.
Yep.
But used her to, when her head was decapitated, they put her on the front of the boat so that she could be a protection aid. You will find her on one of the most popular designers. She's the logo.
Yeah.
So, and we all know Versace has left a massive legacy.
Yep.
You know, fashion, design, homeware, anything, you know, and she is the head of that.
Yeah.
Her face is the logo. So for me, she shows me like legacy, like paving a path. What are you going to leave behind? She whispers to me all the time, when you're dead and gone,
Mm.
if your head ever comes off, what are you leaving? No. And so,
Deep question.
yeah, but now I feel like I kind of know what I want to leave behind.
Mm.
You know, the first time I got asked that question is, when you're gone, Lou, what do you want people to remember you for? And I was like, oh, just being kind. And now I'll go,
Yeah. More
no,
than that.
I don't want to just be known for being kind. I want to be a trailblazer, you know. I want people to go, oh my God, she created this healing modality, or she shared this and she paved the way for this and healed women. And I just want to know that when I'm gone, people will still be using my practices, and my name will still be on their tongue when I'm gone. And that's what Medusa goes for me. And so each goddess will just step forward for you in, like a crystal, in an aspect of what she wants to show you, not necessarily what you research her on.
Yeah, I get that completely. And how did they like show themselves to you? Did you start hearing things? Did you start like seeing things about their story, or did you just feel called to go and research about them? How did they come forward for you? Because I know this is different for everybody.
So for me, I now like meditate and
Mm.
do practice, um, where I will go into like my sacred temple where all my goddess team are, and
Mm.
I will ask, you know, them to show themselves each day to see what happens in it. And sometimes a new goddess will come in, and I'll be
Mm.
like, okay, and then I probably do a little bit of research for me personally, because
Mm.
I break the stigma
Yeah.
of who they actually are. So I will do a little research, do a little bit of their story, read into it, write it all down. Then I'll go in and ask them what
Mm.
they're for, what's their actual story. And so when I will look for signs and symbols. It's the easiest way to do it. If you're a star,
Mm.
um, they'll show up in like a film,
Yeah.
or I mean, Medusa's very, very clear at the moment. I've seen her in so many things and it makes me chuckle. So I think I watched Mobland with
Mm.
Tom Hardy and Ops. Um, Anything that my future husband is in, yeah. And there was Medusa was in the title.
Mm.
I think Medusa is the representation of the wife of Pierce Brosnan, um,
Ah.
which I absolutely loved her in that as that character. And I was like, yeah, I can see her being Medusa. She's like,
Mm.
cool. And then I was watching Wednesday the other day,
Yeah.
and the fireplace is Medusa.
Yeah.
And what else was I watching? And she was there, and I'm just like, oh, she starts to make herself seen for me
Mm.
all the time. Again, you know, Callie Marr, she shows up in different programs and different things or adverts. I'm just like,
Mm.
crazy. And half the time they don't know who that is,
Yeah.
you know? Because a black-haired, blue-skinned, eight-armed woman with blood hanging from her mouth with a decapitated head
Mm.
with her boobs out, it's not something that you would see every day on TV.
No, not usually. Not usually.
We should. So when they're like shown on TV, I'm just like, oh. So like she was on a photograph on a program on a wall, and I was like, oh,
There she is.
I had to do a little Sky TV rerun, go back, rewind it, and I was like, it is. And so I would say if you wanted to start looking at a goddess,
Mm.
you probably already know who they are.
Mm.
A lot of people will find that they have had a connection to them from childhood story,
Yeah.
from a holiday, a place that you've been, from a program that they've watched. And then
Mm.
I just say, listen and feel into that in your body when you're watching something, you know?
Yeah.
Be like, oh, okay. That's them like saying hi.
Yeah.
You're ready to connect. My biggest thing is that you I see a lot online, and this is not disrespecting anybody, of like inviting them in,
Mm.
bringing them into you. Absolutely not. You never ever want to dilute your own goddess.
Yeah.
So when you invite something in, you are setting yourself up for invasion.
Yeah.
Not everything in the light is good. So I wouldn't invite anybody into our physical being,
Yeah.
because unfortunately we have impersonators. So there could be a not great spirit or energy impersonating Medusa, or impersonating Arashnagal,
Yeah.
impersonating, Sekhmet, Isis, whoever. And we've got to look at Isis as well, because there is a stigma of Isis in our realm,
Yeah.
in human realm, that's not great.
Yeah.
So we don't want to have any negative attachments to them and invite them in. So we're not diluting ourselves as a goddess, because we are a goddess. And we need to protect from imposters or impersonators and negative energy. So I always say to my clients, when we work with the goddess, is invite them into your realm,
Yeah.
not into you physically, and just feel out to where they're going to stand.
Yeah.
Because wherever they place themselves in your vicinity shows you what they're going to do to work with you. So standing behind you, they're your pusher. They're the one, mom. They stand in front of you, they're your leader. So they're going to show you. If they stand either side of you, left or right, if it's on your right, it's your action. She's going to be here to show you and get you moving and taking action.
Yeah.
If she's on your left, she wants you to use her powers to heal the feminine. So like finding out where they are in your vicinity to show you how they're going to work with you and work with you. So you're working together, not as one.
Yeah.
Does
That's
that
the
make
key, isn't it? Absolutely. Do you know what? It makes me think of the scenes from The Craft, like the original The Craft, when they're like doing like the invoking and things. Like, yeah, we're not calling people in. And for anyone who's worked with like angels or archangels, or if you work with God or Buddha, it's the same for me. You're asking for their support. It's like having your spiritual army, isn't it? And I ran a program a couple of months ago, and it was walking with the goddess. And it's so because they will walk with you, just as God, Buddha, Allah, whoever you want to call on will walk with you. And that's the thing. And I love with the goddesses, one, that they have their own story, but also because it does connect you to different cultures and different countries, different religions, different faiths. And I love learning about that. So if I'm like drawn to one, so like I had for a long time, I was getting real connections with Asia. I know we've spoke about this, and then that led me like down a rabbit hole there. And it's just then what comes up for you, and it could be something that you've never ever heard of, but it will make so much sense.
absolutely, absolutely. The best thing I ever learned, and I learned this on my priestess path when I was doing my priestess training, was you never invoke, you evoke.
Yeah.
So you never invoke, because that's like taking them in, and you never know what anything is.
Yeah.
But if you evoke, is you're bringing it into your vicinity. You're allowing that energy to complement your energy for what you need. So you've got Lilith, because I know
I
you've
love Lilith.
deep connection to Lilith. So Lilith, for me personally, and the teachings that she shows me, she's my goddess of boundaries,
Yeah.
and goddess of like liberation, freedom, like basically middle finger, don't give a flying
Yes.
what people think or what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So she did that for me. So when you work with Lilith, you don't want to become that, F off, horrible attitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you want to do is, I want her to meet me when I need that power.
Yeah.
So like if I've got really like flexible boundaries when I need to have strong ones,
Yeah.
and that happens in human form because we're terrible for saying no. I know that she will meet me.
Yeah.
And she's always on my right side because she's
Mm.
so for me I'll feel her, and
Yeah.
and she's like, she'll grab my hands and she'll be like, nah, absolutely not. And I'm like, okay, and I'll be like, yeah, no, no, sorry, the answer's no. Love
Yeah.
you, big no.
Yeah. Lilith says no.
Lilith says no. So it's like, you don't want to bring Lilith in, because if you brought her in, again, we don't know which form of Lilith, because there's so many. She's
Yeah.
that's how she shows herself to me. I don't know how she turns up for you.
Mm.
If Lilith might have different powers for you. I know someone who uses Lilith as sex magic.
Yeah, she's very sensual for me as well. She's got the kick, but she's also sensual for me.
Yes, yes. And that again comes from the stories as well,
Yeah.
of her not, for me, it's the boundary side of it. For her was she wasn't going to be like she wasn't going to lie down, and she
No,
wasn't
literally.
going to tell her that she can and what she can and can't do. And so, she wasn't going to let a hierarchy man,
Yeah.
tell her what she needs to do with her husband, or with her partner. So it
Yeah.
wasn't her husband and partner that was trying to tame her. It was somebody else telling
Yeah.
her to, and she was like, absolutely not. And
Yeah.
again, for saying no.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, very much in a sexual energy,
Yeah.
very much sexual liberation, and feeling into that self of her.
Mm.
So I know someone who works with her on that level. She doesn't do that for me. I've got a different goddess for that.
Yeah.
So we this is the prime example of how she works different
Yeah.
with everybody else. So for me, she's just like my backbone, basically.
Yeah.
She pulls
Love that.
as right. What are you doing? Absolutely not. Get a backbone.
I love that. And it's wonderful. And I'd say for anyone, just if you are someone that meditates, that's one of the nicest ways, like you do, ask who wants to come forward. If you're used to working with angels and the archangels and calling them forward, you can do it in exactly a similar way, which I think is really lovely. I tend to flip different times of the month. I will work with different kind of spiritual teams, which is really, really nice. But what I love that I think you do spectacularly well is you bring goddess energy into your brand and your business, and through photo shoots and things, but also like it's just when I think of your brand, yes, I think of crystals, but you are like your own goddess,
Oh
which is
God.
lovely. How did you start doing that? How did you start bringing the goddess energy into like a business side of things?
I think, as I'm like a goddess myself, is
Mm.
multifaceted. So
Yeah.
I I like I'm a huge contradiction because I'm a witch, so I work with the witch wounds, I
Yeah.
work with magical powers. I class myself as a modern day witch,
Hmm.
uh, being able to heal our ancestors gone, so I can stand here with you, holding a crystal, talking about inviting goddesses in
Yeah.
without being lynched off somewhere to a nutty bin, or to a jail, or to be
Yeah.
to be drowned, whatever. We live in a world now where we can speak freely to a certain degree, and that's powerful.
Yeah.
I'm a priestess, so walk the path of God consciousness,
Hmm.
and Mary Magdalene, again, another divine feminine who's been
Yeah.
taught and ripped to shreds and being masked as something she's not. So then when I look and think I'm a witch and I'm also a high priestess,
Hmm.
you put them in the same realm, you know,
Yeah.
going to a church, walking into a church and saying you're a witch is like, but again, you know, everybody believes in different things.
Yeah.
The church is just another story.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the truth. In my mind, some people out there may follow the church and religion and think it's their
Hmm.
truth. That's beautiful. We find our own
Yeah,
truths
absolutely.
for us. Um, I work with goddess. I work with crystals. So we are a multi. I'm a multifaceted way of being, and I think when we are truthful in that, we can blend it.
Yeah.
It'll just happen. So I I've been doing photo shoots with who is now my beautiful friend and I love to pieces, Ali Ford photography. If you ever want to follow and get some gorgeous images, um, like the very first time I had my photo shoot, I was just the most uncomfortable. It was the most awkward. And Ali even says to me today, it was like hitting my head on a brick wall. Contact, you were stiff as a board.
Oh.
I said to you, what do you want to do for your brand shoot? And you were like, I do crystals. And she said, you just sat there with crystals in your hand and was like, I like being outdoors.
Oh.
Did you buy a tree with your crystals? I was like, yeah.
Great.
Ow! Like last week's photo shoot, I was dressed up in the middle of Wepper Park with loads of kids and people around me as Medusa.
Love
I
it.
had a dress on, snakes around my body. I had my shoulders out. I was getting dressed in the middle of a woods, half naked. You know, I've done photo shoots where I've actually got into a sacred well with no clothes on, and had that done as a wild woman. And so it's I think being able to emulsify everything I do together and then get a shot
Mm.
is that's healing in itself. Every photo shoot I
Yeah.
have Bali is like healing in front of a lens, if that makes
Mm. I like that.
because people just think it's a photograph. And I always say to her as well, like the just you don't sometimes don't do justice because you said
Mm.
brand shoot. And as much as it is a brand shoot where you
Mm.
just for your brand, but what she's actually doing is she's capturing you in everything that you do in your truth.
Yeah.
And that's healing. Like that's so much healing behind the lens. I love it now. I used to dread it. He's like, I paid. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get my lovely photo to put on me portfolio or as my brand, as my profile picture or whatever. And now I'm like, what can it be next? So like next month I'm in Wallasey on the beach and I'm going as a Reshnagal,
Brilliant.
the Sumerian goddess. So yeah, I'm going to be standing there pretty much half naked on the beach in Wallasey if anyone wants to see it.
I feel I need to come along for this. Yes.
In a, just evoking my inner Arashnagal. And so yeah.
Stunning.
But she also does ones where you can sit in a cafe and get your laptop out and look like you're professional. There's nothing professional about me, so I'm not going to pretend to be that.
I love that. And I absolutely love having both because we are multifaceted. And this is the thing, whenever I'm speaking to people about, creating a brand, and I even had a conversation with Danny about this yesterday because we're doing like our own networking events for people who hate networking or who have neurodiverse needs or who are introverted and who don't want to have to do typical things. And he was like, oh, do we need to set up like a separate Instagram account or a Facebook account? And I was like, no, because they're extensions of us. So just because it's a different business offering, like we are still that brand and we are so multifaceted. And this is where, when people are like, oh, I don't know what my job title is, or like, if you're running a business, do you need a job title?
Oh God, no. I just ended up rounding mine up thinking, what am I? So I'm a
Mm.
witch keeper, crystal keeper, goddess keeper, so I'm a spiritual keeper. Keep it simple. Buddha
Yeah.
Dream, Richmond, Buddha Dream, spiritual keeper.
Yeah. I change mine all the time.
But we
Because we
evolve.
do. Yeah.
We are like butterflies, aren't we? What happens
Yeah.
is we go into our little cocoons, and we have a dip in energy where we're just like, I don't know what's going on. I just like want to shut
Yeah.
off. Do it, honor that, because that was me about 2 months ago when I've only just
Yeah.
literally out of my little cocoon. I was just like, I just don't want to play in
Mm.
right now. I just want to be me and like read books and be with the dog and
Yeah.
see what comes forward. And loads of stuff came forward. There
As it
was,
does when we stop.
yeah, it
There's
does.
peace in that. But yeah, I think it does fascinate me. And I think when I very first started my business, I think I just called myself a life coach. Um, and no disrespect to life coaches, but then I was like, that's not what I'm doing. And then yeah, business coach. No, again, it's not what I'm doing.
Again, it's that word, isn't it? Like, I have a real restriction to titles. So
Mm.
I completed me priestess training, and you get given a priestess name. Mine's Lady of Faith. Um,
Ooh.
and you get given the title of a high priestess, and that just
Mm.
felt icky. The high,
Okay.
and for ages I said to my priestess, my high priestess, my trainer Danielle, I said, can I drop the high? She was like, why? I was like, I just don't like it. It feels like hierarchy. Feels like
Okay.
I am better than everybody else, and that's not how I. It's not the realms I play in. It's not how
Yeah.
I. And she was like, you can do whatever you want. She said, but what I will say is, you're doing yourself a disservice for all the hard work that you've done. So, because
Mm.
you worked hard to accumulate the high,
Mm.
you have to reap the rewards. It's just a word. It's like, okay,
Mm.
it is
What
just a.
if what if all of us could just be on that higher plane? That would be nice, wouldn't it?
And it's like a coach. I wouldn't. People say, oh, you coach me into. I said, don't.
Mm.
You coach yourself. I'm a
Mm.
guide. So basically,
Yeah.
stand there, hold your hand through the process while you coach yourself and heal yourself.
Mm.
I'm your guide. So that's why I always say I'm a guide. Don't say anything else other than.
Funny, isn't it?
But it's whatever's comfortable. People like saying that they're a coach and they coach people.
Yeah.
People like entrepreneur. I don't like saying that. It's weird.
Yeah. See, I like that word. I don't know why I like that word, but yeah, I like entrepreneur. Don't know.
CEO. I say I'm a feminine CEO.
Yeah, CEO I like as well.
A
Yeah.
woman who runs her own business and runs
Yeah.
her own, you know?
Isn't it funny? Yeah, titles and names. I don't even know what I've got on my bio. I mean, it might be soul coach actually. Um, the word coach is often in there. Spiritual teacher I have quite often, because I know at my core I'm a teacher.
Well, yes, you've done a lot of work to be a teacher.
Yeah. So it wasn't just the career, but I know that is like part of my like wise woman, like, yeah, purpose is to teach. But sometimes if you meet someone, you say you're a teacher, they're like, oh, what age? And I'm like, no, no, that not that sort of teacher.
I have been.
I have been that sort of teacher, not anymore. Yeah. It's fascinating, isn't it? So anyone who's listening to this who's like, I don't know what to call myself, your name is a great place to start.
Doesn't matter what you call yourself, as long as for me it sits
Yeah.
and sovereignty. Do you know what I mean? It's got to just feel right.
Yeah.
Even now, sometimes I go on priestess. People say the hi very
Yeah.
often, you know. And everything's meant to be, isn't it? Everything's meant to be. It's like Reiki master.
Mm.
What you're no one's master. And then when I really looked into it, it's the master of.
Yeah.
You're not mastering someone. You've mastered the Reiki attunements.
Yeah.
So it's again got shadow work because it's flipping the narrative, isn't it? Like
Mm.
there's a power behind it. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, why? Because it's
Yeah.
behind it. Find that power and then sit with it. It's great. And then use Dark Goddess because they're the perfect team member to work with the shadows and flip your narrative.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. for sure. I think Persephone for me is a great one for that because she has half her time in the shadows and half her time not. So, yeah, she was a real helper for me to see the duality.
Oh yeah, and absolutely. I mean, if you see Persephone in as in a modern day woman,
Mm.
she's the woman that the mother doesn't like the boyfriend. You
Yeah,
know, picked a bad one, but she hasn't. She's fell in love with a powerful man who's
yeah.
also. They were meant to heal each other.
I
So
love their story.
I do.
It's gorgeous. It is a gorgeous story. If anyone's not looked at that, like that's a gorgeous, yeah, gorgeous story. But yeah, the mother wound, which is interesting to look at as well with Persephone, and yeah, but just I think she is very real, and you can see her as a modern day woman because we do have half our time where we're like, I'm out,
Yeah.
I'm hibernating, I'm in my shadows. Half the time when we're not, and I think it's nature.
Let's be honest. You know, throughout 24 hours of our day, man and woman will go into their
Oh
shadows,
yeah,
triggered all the time, or something gets to us, or something annoys us. Um, and we are a society of be kind. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay to be kind, but we also need to release too. And if
yeah,
someone's not to us, why should we take that?
yeah.
Oh, I am the best person to have an argument with because I annoy everybody. So my other half, he flips straight off the handle.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not doing this today. And he goes, what do you mean? I go,
Not today.
not today, Satan. No, not today. And I go, because I don't know what I want to say to you right now. Because what I'm going to say to you would probably be not very nice. So what I'm
Yeah.
going to do, right, sit with what you've just said to me, see how it makes me feel. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to come over to you. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel and why you made me sad or why you made me angry.
Mm.
He hates it.
But what a brilliant way of,
But I,
handling what could be potential conflict or, what could escalate. And that's another beautiful way that, this goddess energy can just help in everything.
yeah. But my inner Callie's going, I won. I won. You're really infuriated. So I got to you without having to shout. I won.
Hilarious. Hilarious. I love that. Love
Yes.
that. Funny. So I've got one more question for you because what I do, which is inspired by Stephen Bartlett, who is one of the people I love to follow, um, I've asked every podcast guest to leave a question for another guest. So,
Okay.
let's pick one of these. Oh, this one feels like a you question. Let me
Well,
just check actually that you didn't leave this question because that would be hilarious. Hang on one sec. Let me just go through, have a little look. Check it wasn't your question. Let me check. No, wasn't your question. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to ask you if I can get it back on the screen again. You ready for this one?
well, hit me.
Was there ever a moment in your life where you felt like something was bigger than you, but you turned out to be bigger than it?
Oh,
Isn't that lovely?
yeah.
It's a very you question that's why I was like, I'm going to double check that you didn't ask this one.
Oh, that gave me all the feels.
Hmm.
Apart. I felt bigger than me, and then I would say my priestess path.
Ooh.
Absolutely walking the priestess path.
Hmm.
It was something I was called to do for such a long time, and I couldn't understand why. And at the time, I really, really felt the pull to do it.
Hmm.
I was working a lot with my witch wound. And so it felt like a massive, massive contradiction. And I felt
Hmm.
like walking into a church was going to just blow me apart,
Yeah.
everything that had happened. And what I've got to say is it's not just the church neither that
Yeah.
like ridiculed us as witches.
No, it's not.
But it was one of the main storylines to it. And so I couldn't get my head round why I wanted to do both, and I kept putting it off because I was like repelled by it. And what I realized was that I needed to do both to because it was a duality. And both the church and both witches have been destroyed and distorted and used in the wrong way. So walking through my priestess path, when I actually eventually did it, it was probably the toughest path I've ever had to do because I had to look at myself. Because to walk the priestess path, you've got to be in your sovereignty and in your truth always. And living a life of truth and sovereignty breaks you a little bit. There were so many times I've had to look at myself. But I realised that I am a really good person. I am proud of who I am and what I become and what I do. And I live, oh God, living, if you can live soulfully in your truth and in your sovereignty, life is so much easier. So much easier because you can say no whenever you want to in the most beautiful way and people understand you.
Yeah.
You can create a life that you want to live when we create the life that we want to live. Again, everything flows and moves, you know. I feel like a lot of my influences prior that was all about financial gain and finances being my freedom, and it's not. Finance is not my freedom. Being myself is my freedom. So the priestess path was an obstacle I thought was bigger than me. And now I'm completed it and I'm a high priestess. I'm not bigger than it. It made me see that I am bigger than most things that I've feared.
There you go.
Definitely. It's made me who I am today and which I think I'm proud of.
Yeah. Gorgeous. I love that. And something that I adore with all the paths that we walk as well. And I think when people think of spirituality or they think of witchcraft and witches or, we label things, it's the labels and titles again, isn't it? But what
Yeah.
I love with spirituality is that we can draw on any. So, if I want to work with God consciousness, which I'm doing a lot more of, or if I want to connect to Mother Mary, Jesus, Mary Magdalene, we can. If I want to connect to my ancestors who were hung for being witches, we can. If we want to connect to angels, we can.
But ultimately, though, what we're doing is we're healing our witch by stepping into that church realm and stepping into, using. Well, Mary Magdalene was a witch. She was a healer. She was an anointress. She worked with oils and herbs. So she essentially was the first witch. Jesus, Jesus as we know him, but real name Joshua, he was a hands-on healer, You can't the church can't tell us that as hands-on healers and spiritual people that we're in the wrong when the biggest being that they honor was one of us. It's like every time I step into a church, there's a gorgeous place. I think you've been St. Winnie as well. Yeah. So you have to go in you pay to go in. £2 to get in. The money goes to the church, and you go in, and you're surrounded by. It's a shop basically. There wasn't one Mary Magdalene item in there.
No, very peculiar.
And then we went. Once you pass through the church, you can go into the church grounds. And there's a sacred well, and that well was owned by the Druids before the church took it on. So again, connected to us, not the church. It was ours first. And so I like to go there. I go there
Mm,
and just get my feet in the water because there's
mm,
very much church. Like there's restricted times when you can get in. You have to be
yeah.
there. It's got a big barrier around it otherwise. But going into the like temple part, well, I mean, I've been there a few times with one of my friends, and she sings and she
Mm,
she activates Mary Magdalene energy in there, and it
mm,
echoes, and it's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And we get told off every time for making noise. But we are who we are, and it is. We're just activating the energies in there that need to be there, or we're already there. Um, and so every time as a witch, we walk into a church, or we connect to our angels, or we go delve deeper into the priestess path and
mm,
Joshua and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary, or again, connect to our angels and God consciousness and higher realms. We are healing
yeah.
the witch wound. We're healing the mother wound, the sister wound, because we're Mary Magdalene had a sister wound, so she's a part of this most sacred sisterhood,
Mm,
and we're healing. So as much as we think we're contradicting or
yeah.
we're battling, we're not. We're combining and emulsifying it and alchemizing it,
Yeah.
and bringing it in so we can heal.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it, law of divine oneness. There's
Yeah,
no separation.
no, you can be a witch and a church. Go to the church,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. So, yeah, again, no worries about the titles.
No worries.
Titles and labels we don't need.
No,
Just be you. Just be you.
exactly.
Yeah.
I did this the other day because I've got a few nieces and nephews who've got autism and ADHD, and for me, non-parent, I struggle to have an opinion because I'm not a mum, so I don't know what it's like. Well, I am. I'm a dog mum, but of a human form.
Mm,
I I always say to them all the time that, because one of them's like, but I know, but I've got ADHD. And I go, you haven't. You're just magic. You're just different. You're unique, and that's special. That's what
mhm.
makes you special.
Yeah.
And you have this ornate gift of knowing everything. And I mean, absolutely everything about the planetary system, like
Love that.
of the stuff. But that's what happens. They lock in, don't they, on something, and they're just the master of it.
Yeah.
And I said, that's your unique gift. It's because you're special, because the stars brought you here
Hmm.
to be special. So you don't
Yeah.
have to tell me you've got ADHD or autism.
Labels.
Yeah, you're just special.
We're all our own superheroes.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for having me.
This has been absolutely gorgeous. There's a million and one other things that we can probably talk about as well. But yes, this has been awesome. So for anyone who is not yet in your wonderful magical world, I will put like links and things on the show notes for people anyway. But where is the best place for people to find you?
So I'm probably easier to find at Buddha Dreams on Facebook, and
Mm.
I do have it on Instagram at Dreams Buddha. It's the opposite way around. I don't know why that's happened, but
Cool.
um, on Instagram. TikTok, I am there, but I'm very, very vague. I'm just mastering that level.
Put the link. We'll put the link in for anyone who is playing on TikTok. But yeah, I think, yeah, you're most active on Facebook, I find, aren't you? So
Yeah, I mean, I've got loads of lovely goodness coming up on Facebook as well, because I've just launched the Dark Goddess
mm,
Day, where you come and you get dressed up as the goddess. I've got a box full of crowns and outfits for people to activate their goddess in them, and then you get your photos taken with the gorgeous Al.
love it.
I know, that exciting. I can't wait. It's been in the making for
Yeah.
ages, and now it's here. I'm just so excited.
Mm,
Dance in the woods,
why
dress as
not?
goddess in this secluded, beautiful area that no one knows about.
Love it. we'll put the links in for that as well. Obviously, depending on what date people are listening to, it might have already gone, but then there may be another one.
Oh God, we'll listen
Mm.
on this one, so there'll be loads, absolutely loads.
There you go. So exciting. Thank you so, so much. As
Thank you.
always, always a pleasure. And thank you very much to everyone who has been listening or watching along as well. And we will see you very soon.
Oh, take care. Thank you. Bye.
Mwah.